Yo, what's going on, guys? KrispyFlakes here. Welcome to the KrispyFlakes podcast. For today's video or discussion, we are going to be, simply remembering one of the greatest sports influences of all time, and that being Kobe Bryant. As we all know, a year ago today, at the making this video, is the 1 year anniversary of one of the big, just tragic things, really, in history, man. And that is all of us experiencing together Kobe Bryant, his daughter Gianna, and of course the other victims of that horrible accident that happened, right, man? And I think for me personally, because the way that I view Kobe Bryant is the way that a lot of other people watching this video probably view Kobe Bryant. It's not going to be in the same light as like a LeBron James or like a Devin Booker or Jason Tatum or all these guys that either played along Kobe or watched Kobe growing up. Because to them, Kobe was this mentor. He was this guy that paved this way to greatness, for those guys. Now, for somebody like me that loves the game of basketball, I've been watching it since I was like the age of 11 or 12. I will say that sports athletes, in a sense, are the closest thing we have to like real life superheroes. And I don't mean superheroes, in the sense of like saving lives, because a lot of that, I think is more close towards the area of like first responders and really people that are out there saving lives every single day. What I mean by seeing sports athletes, guys like Kobe and LeBron or Michael Jordan, of course, other sports too, Tom Brady getting back to the Super Bowl, man. The way we view these guys or girls as superheroes is because some of the things they are able to do, some of the abilities they are able to do, is something that a lot of people just can't imagine being able to do that thing, man. Watching Steph Curry being able to knock out 103 pointers in a row, that's a damn superpower, guys. That's a straight up superpower. And like I said, it's the same way where it's like, Spider-Man is a superhero because, yes, he saves lives, but also watching Spider-Man, it's like, okay, this guy can also climb up walls and like shoot webs out of his hands. And it's just like, that's awesome, right, man? Like, that's a big reason why you are a fan of him. And I feel like that's the same way with sports athletes. And for Kobe Bryant, I think what made this guy so spectacular is because, yes, playing basketball within its own sense is something that's been going on forever. I mean, basketball's been around, man, for a very long time now. So it's like, what makes somebody that just plays basketball, and then how do you get somebody that's like Kobe Bryant? And really, it comes down to the whole Mamba mentality and just being able to find greatness in an area where greatness, it's just the difference is just like how hard you work, right, man? I mean, really, I feel like that's anything in life. It's like, unless you're reinventing the wheel, or unless you're developing some sort of like new technology that's never been seen before, being able to be great at something really takes a certain type of individual. And it's one of those things too where it's like anybody is capable of it as long as they dig deep enough. And I think a lot of people saw that with Kobe. I mean, yes, Kobe was 6'6". Yes, he was extremely athletic. But it wasn't even him that, I mean, yeah, he used his athleticism to dominate, but more so what he used was a combination of his athleticism, but also his basketball IQ. You never knew what Kobe was doing. He was always extremely, extremely unpredictable with the basketball. And to me, man, that's the day. That's a superhero in the end of the day. It's like, you don't know what they're gonna do. You don't know how they're gonna do it. I mean, you can watch me play basketball. Like, yeah, that chubby kid right there, bro. He's gonna pull up from a three from damn Jimmer range, right? So, yeah, I don't know. I guess that's just my first thought towards Kobe is I just view him as like this hero, man. And when a year ago today when that happened, um, I know for me, when the news was first released, and by the way, TMZ is still a garbage ass company for the way they did that, spreading so much false rumors and speculation and saying Rick Fox was there and just all sorts of stuff. Complete garbage move, man. I really think it also showed like their credibility, because if it was like this credible news source, if that even exists anymore, okay, if it was like Woj saying it or something, it's like, okay, right away everybody believes it, right, man, because it's Woj. But with TMZ, it's like they already have a reputation as a garbage company. So I remember, man, like I was at my old house that I was renting out, in my attic area. You guys know, like the gray background. I do miss that background, by the way. And I was doing my same old, man. I was straight up I was doing my rebuild videos and my reaction channel videos and stuff like that. And I, like you, saw it broken to me on Twitter. And I cannot believe the amount of people at that time that were all just like, this isn't true. Like say this is a joke. Like everybody thought it was just one of those sick jokes. 'Cause you'll see that all the time, man. You'll see something like, Tom Hanks passed away, and it's just some garbage, person out there trying to get clicks or something like that. So that was everybody's initial thought right away. And then, a few more minutes went by, half an hour, whatever. Everybody's speculating, saying, okay, this isn't true. And then it was released by a more credible news source. I forgot who exactly, saying that, yes, this definitely did happen. There was, footage and stuff like that, bro. It was absolutely horrible. And I know at the time, I, like you, were just really, really shocked. I was just kind of like, it was almost like you it literally felt like you got kicked in the stomach. You know what I'm saying? And I think, and the first thing I did, which I did get backlash for this, but myself, I know a few other YouTubers did too, was I went live on a live stream, and there was a lot of people that were like, oh, look at these people, they're trying to get people to view their stuff. I know for me at the time that was not the case. For me, it was just because my girlfriend was at work or school or whatever. So I was by myself in my attic, completely just dumbfounded what was going on. So for me personally, the reason I did that, and I think it was kind of helpful for some other people out there too, was just simply, I know there's a lot of people feeling down, probably worse than I was feeling too, man, because I like Kobe, I was a big Kobe fan growing up, not nearly as much as a lot of people were though. So it was just nice talking, even if it was via the way I talk to you guys on a daily basis. I know for some people that helped them out a lot, and helped me out a lot too, just being around similar minded people at that time. Because even I remember that same day I called my dad, and I told him about it. So I was like, yeah, Kobe, he got in an accident, he passed away and stuff. And my dad likes basketball, but not as much as I do. So he understood where he's like, wow, that's really shocking and stuff. But still, unless you were around people every single day like you and I that are just basketball heads that absolutely love it, it was really kind of hard to really understand. So yeah, after that, I remember I don't think I did any videos that day. The next day, I simply just laid around. I remember I think I ordered some pizza or something. I didn't want to do anything, and I went on NBA TV. It wasn't NBA TV. It was whatever the app is or whatever. League Pass, I don't know, man, something you pay for. That came with my YouTube TV or whatever. And I remember I just watched Kobe NBA Finals games all day. And I just felt like crap, man. I was just like, wow, it was just one of those things you just really couldn't get over. And I think the worst thing about it too is that, there's a lot of NBA players that once they retire, they were in the NBA, they obviously loved basketball really good. But a lot of people were in the NBA too for making the money and because of the business aspect of it. They didn't really care about fans and stuff like that. And then once they retire, they just lived low-key lives. You never hear from them ever again, right? But with Kobe, it's almost you expected after he retired that he was going to do just as much, if not more, off the court as he did on the court. I knew he was working out. He was big into film, and he was making documentaries and all sorts of stuff like that, man. And now that's all going to be lost art that we simply will never get to see, and it just really sucks. And I'm sorry, I don't mean to. Because, I think one thing that does, I don't want to say irks me, but does upset me about the situation is that it really does go to show in tragedy how we do focus on celebrities so much, because there were a ton of other people on that airplane, of course, his daughter and everything, that lost their lives too. But I think just kind of that just kind of comes with the whole, connection thing. I mean, every single day people pass away, and it's sad, and there's numerous reasons why, but it goes down to the whole, philosophy behind, if you could push a button right now and somebody would die that you don't know, but you get $1 million, would you do it? You know what I'm saying? So I feel like a lot of people didn't focus on. I mean, people definitely focus on the other people losing their lives too, but it was definitely more focused on Kobe and his daughter. But I think that was just given the circumstance of we were relating it to the basketball world, right? So I think in that mindset it's okay, but yeah, man, it was really a rough few days, and even a year later, it's just it's one of those things where I don't even think about Kobe as if he passed away. I think of him more now. I don't like in my mind, I just feel like, hey, he just retired and he's just off on an island somewhere chilling. You know what I'm saying? But no, that's definitely not the case. So next up, I want to talk a little bit about just what, like, how did I view Kobe Bryant growing up, man? Like I said, I started watching basketball like 2003, 2004 NBA season, around there. So, obviously the first season the Pistons went and played against Kobe in the Lakers. And I will say straight up, man, my favorite Kobe moment, believe it or not, is when he balled off against the Pistons. What was it, in game 2 or whatever? I mean, the Pistons dominated game 1. And in game 2, Kobe's like, "No, man, we we here to fight. We are here to fight." And to me, that's my favorite moment, just because that's the one that I relate Kobe to the most. Was, despite how bad things were in game 1, he still fought his ass off in game 2 and stuff, right? So, that's just how. Because you also got to keep in mind that, like, watching Kobe growing up, he did play for the Lakers his entire career, and I do live on the East Coast, man. So, like, it was. I feel like I had like this almost like this Kobe curse. Because often, like, either the games weren't nationally televised or he played super late at night to the extent where it's like, I was still pretty young, so I had a bedtime and stuff. So I didn't get to watch Kobe as much as, people living out west and stuff like that. But I swear I always had a Kobe curse because I would see every single day these highlights of Kobe, dropping 50 points, doing all sorts of these amazing things out there. And then I would watch him and he would play really bad for whatever reason. I don't know why, man. Like, obviously, I caught really good Kobe moments and stuff in my life, but it just seemed like anytime I stayed up specifically to watch Kobe, he would just have a bad game all of a sudden. Or, like, when he played against the Pistons, because I do know that, like, his lowest career average was against the Pistons, but it was still, like, 30 points a game, so, which is just crazy to think about. That literally, like, your worst scoring outing is 30 points a game. Yeah, I think it wasn't career high. Yeah, it was scoring average. So I don't know, I feel like I literally to this day feel like I had like a Kobe curse. Like I want to watch this guy like ball out, man. I want to see like the Kobe, dropping 50, 60 points or whatever. And I did catch games like that, but not as often as I probably could have, right? Being a Kobe curse. So yeah, beyond that, growing up, I know one of my favorite things to do. Because, I loved basketball. Basketball eventually got me to playing 2K and stuff. And, I mean, to this, like now I will say, like, I still, like, casually play NBA 2K off camera. I'll do something like in my career. If play now mode is good, if, like, the gameplay is good, then I still love I play now online. But it's kind of a garbage game this year, so I don't play it as much, man. Or even so much. Like, ever since they did the team tier thing, where it's like, you have to play this many games to unlock this team and this tier. I've always thought that was stupid. Like, before all that, one of my favorite things to do was to go online, select the Lakers, and see if I could drop 80 points or 81 points with Kobe Bryant, man. Like that was just fun to me. So, yeah, loved using them in 2K and stuff. Like it was just always a good time because there was a few players like that for me that I really felt like that. Like, man, I can go off for 100 points. 4 players in particular: Tracy McGrady. No, 5 players: Tracy McGrady, Penny Hardaway, Jason Kapono. Oh yeah, back on like NBA 2K6. Jason Kapono on the Raptors. GG, man. Kobe Bryant and Dwight Howard. Like, Orlando Magic, Dwight Howard, loved using them. Chris Bosh is kind of cool too. I was good with LeBron too, man. I was pretty good back in the day. Okay, that's all I'm gonna say. But yeah, just so many good moments. Watching Kobe growing up and just really the legacy he left on basketball. Just man, I wish we could have got some post NBA Kobe, man. Just because I feel like he had so much to offer the world, and I feel like he would have been just like this game changer as far as just I hate when people get like identified for one thing they do in their life. Like, for example, I'm a victim of this in the sense that, or I'm not a victim, I'm a player in this, I should say. Whenever I watch John Krasinski on anything besides The Office, I'm like, that's Jim. Or even like Emma Watson. Like, you watch her and you're like, that's Hermione. You know what I'm saying? But that's not fair. I feel like people, when they are great at one craft or at one thing, that should not define them. They should be able to expand and brand out into other style. And I feel like Kobe would have been able to do that, because there's a lot of times we're going to look at certain players and stuff, be like, oh yeah, that's LeBron James, that's Dwayne Wade. But I feel like Kobe eventually wouldn't have just been, yes, Kobe the basketball player, that's Kobe the film director, that's Kobe the screenwriter, or whatever it was that he wanted to do. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah. And then you gotta look at his daughter Gianna too. I mean, she was just as passionate, it seemed like, about basketball as he was. I absolutely loved their father daughter connection. Hopefully, if I have kids someday, that's a connection I hope to have. It's just like that father child love for the same thing, and just being able to like experience that, especially for Kobe too, just to like see his daughter Gianna and stuff be so good at basketball. He's like, that's gotta be really cool to see. You know what I'm saying? Just like, hey, it runs in the family, right? And I thought she really was going to be a big time, game changer for women in sports in the WNBA. And I think that if anything, it would have brought more eyes to the sports. I mean, say what you will about the WNBA and stuff. I loved it back in the day, man. Like my Detroit Shock. We don't got a team here in Detroit anymore, but I love the Detroit Shock. Like, it was fun to watch. I know a lot of people like the clown on it and stuff, but I enjoyed it. And I just feel like she would have really been a big time game changer for it. And once again, it's just something we're never going to get to see now. Now, with that being said, sometimes through death comes, I don't really know the word I'm looking for. Maybe motivation or passion or something that hopefully, people will see what these two were going to do, and they will use that as motivation to do something similar and be a speaker out there for whatever it is they want to do, any sort of passion they have in life, man. So, and I feel like to this day, that's what we all say is like the Mamba mentality. You gotta have that, right? You gotta have the Mamba mentality. If you have the Mamba mentality, you can do whatever you want in this world, or you can at least go out there and give it your bestest. Bestest. I don't know if that's a word, but it is now, man. And even and I feel like that's where I got my biggest motivation out of guys like Kobe Bryant, is that. I mean, Kobe was the best. Like, I've never been the best YouTuber, right? I feel like I do fine, but for me, it's not about like, I don't know. It's just almost it's a weird mindset to get under, man. But I kind of relate it to like the whole like tortoise and hare story, where it's just like, hey, like I might not be the quickest to grow, slow and steady. I'm gonna work my hardest, man. I'm gonna get there in the end. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you work hard enough, you can do anything. And that's kind of how I value myself on YouTube, where it's like, I mean, like people will send me DMs, or like I'll see somebody out in public like, oh my god, it's Crispy or whatever, or I'll be playing a game and somebody will see me like, oh my god, Crispy, oh, I was famous or whatever. Straight up, guys, I am so average. I'm the most average dude out there, man. I am no different than you are. And so I've always liked that mindset, where it's just like, if you work hard enough, you can achieve anything, man. You really can. And that's kind of how I want to base my YouTube career. And I feel like that's kind of how Kobe was out there. This dude just worked hard, man, every single day, no days off. So I'll take a mental day every now and then, but hey, you know what? I did YouTube for like 5 years without taking any days off, with like the occasional like once a month or something. But yeah, so next up here. I do want to talk about, over on my Twitter account at KrispyFlakes2K, I did ask you guys to give me some of your favorite Kobe moments, so I'm going to read those now. And keep in mind, I'm not going to remember every single one of these. I don't have that AI, not Allen Iverson, like the artificial intelligence, IQ. I'm going to remember every single little thing here. But yeah, I'll read them out, and you guys let me know in the comment section below if I missed something, or if there's something that you thought was like your favorite of all time. So we got She-Rang right here says the poster over Dwight Howard, one of his favorite moments. Yes, I do remember that. That was against the Orlando Magic, Dwight Howard, and he just dunked all over him. And I think it was at that moment I kind of knew, yeah, these guys should probably never play together, until it kind of happened, right? What else we got here, man? Okay, we got Guy Anderson says his favorite Kobe moment was when his daughter asked if he could shoot threes and why he doesn't do it more often. His response was making 12 threes the next game he had, which was a record at the time. It just shows how competitive he was. And even from like not being like competitive, but just so much like the skill set, where Kobe had a certain craft to his game where he knew he could dominate. And it's like, he's like, yeah, if the game transitions into like this big time 3-point shooting league, I got that too. Now, the start of that was kind of the tail end of Kobe Bryant's career, around like 2016, when Steph Curry and the Warriors were really dominating, right? Maybe a little bit before that, but even at that point, Kobe was getting older and had like injuries and stuff. But yeah, I have no doubt if Kobe played today, like he would be shooting a lot more threes, and he would probably be shooting around, I'll probably say Kobe would have been like 36, 37% at least. You know what I'm saying? Consistently. In March, we got Jordan here says in March 2007 when Kobe had 4 straight 50-point games. Yeah, absolutely insane. Even saying that now, like in like today's NBA where we see guys like James Harden or like Steph Curry, like LeBron, really anybody just go off. It seems like every single night there's somebody putting up a lot of points, but to have 4 straight 50-point games, especially back in 2007, completely unheard of. Unless you, of course, were Wilt Chamberlain. So we have David Smith says his favorite moment was when Kobe tore his Achilles against the Warriors, had been fouled on the same play, but was still able to sink those 2 free throws when he did that. I thought he was like Superman or something, which once again goes back down to the whole like superhero thing, right, man? But no, really, anytime somebody does that, like literally, like you see a guy go down with this injury, you don't know what the injury is yet, but they go and shoot free throws, so you're like, okay, they're fine, and then you find out later that they like snapped their pelvis or something like that. Like, whoa, how'd they shoot those free throws? It's always crazy to think about. We got a lot of sauce says Achilles free throws easily. We got Aiden says him starting and ending his career on free throws. I actually did not know that, so it's kind of cool to see. Just kind of scrolling through some more of these here, man. Oh, yeah, we got Darian Johnson, Matt Barnes, pump fakes, ball at his face, and Kobe didn't even flinch. Yes, definitely a great moment, man. Just like, bam, because, like, you see people, like people do that do that in real life, just, like, all the time, like, just playing, like, pickup games and stuff. They'll try to, like, psych you out and stuff, and Kobe's like, Matt Barnes flinched that ball at him like that, or threw it at him like that, and Kobe's just like, man, I wish you would. Like, he's like, I'm not going to move, because I know for a fact that you will not be doing that. Like, you will not be throwing that ball at my face. What else we got here, man? We had Joey say his last game where he dropped 60. Yes, Fury also said that when Kobe dropped 60 in his final game. In his speech at the end, Tupac says 60 points in his last game. Yeah, though that was really cool. Over my second channel, Extra Crispy, I just did a full-on reaction to that yesterday just to remember that great moment and stuff. So, yeah, definitely a really cool moment, no doubt. What else we got here, man? We got Donovan Moore says when he said Mamba out, very cool. Man, I feel like I need to like chill for like the next minute and a half here because we're coming up on my end 22 minutes 24 seconds. I need to hit 24:08, man. It's got to hit 24:08. If I go over or I go under or whatever, man, I'm going to stop it at 24:08 no matter what. So we're going to try to hit that mark, man. But yeah, straight up Kobe Bryant, just a legend, man. Like he to me is basketball. As much to basketball as Michael Jordan was to basketball, or Wilt Chamberlain, or LeBron James. Man, he's just one of those just one of the poster boys for the sport. And I really do think he's like the closest thing we've had to Michael Jordan. I know people like to say like LeBron and Michael Jordan, but to me those guys, the way they play is so different. You want to talk about just from like a guy that played like MJ, it was Kobe Bryant. To me, I mean, I love LeBron James, nothing against him, but he's more Magic Johnson to me, man. Like he is a better scoring Magic Johnson. Like he has all the playmaking, he has the height and everything like that. Obviously, like a 6'8", 6'9" guy that can play point guard. Like to me, that's what LeBron is. But Kobe, I mean, the fadeaway, just the way he attacked, not only physically but also mentally. He was the Michael Jordan of this era, and a lot of people viewed him that way, man. So, yeah, I do plan on doing like Kobe videos all week. I'm still not too sure about it though, because some people were getting kind of like, well, I know like his family kind of straight up said that they don't want people doing too much stuff about it because they're trying to like forget about it and stuff like that, man. So I'm not really too sure about it, but we are coming up on the 24:08 mark, man. So I guess we'll just end this with a quick moment of silence for Kobe.